Get some music going in the beginning of these. Hello. How's everyone doing this morning? Going to be doing another human design Q&A, guidance, see what we get into this morning. I never know how these are going to go. Hello, good morning. It's funny at the beginning of these, I'm always like super nervous and then I just drink a lot. I don't know what else to do. I just like sip my coffee and my water. I'm doing so amazing this morning. I'm loving the rain. The ocean's so pretty when it rains. Unfortunately, the waves were not that great today, but I got to look at it still. How are you doing this morning? About to go for a 1-3 projector walk to blow off some pressure. That's always a good idea. What's your chart look like? You have a defined root? Are you splenic? Emotional? Hello, Kendall. Nice to see you on here. We still need to link up and do our reading. It's been like years in the making. Wait, did you say 1-3 splenic projector walk or 1-3 projector walk? 1-3 projector walk. Yeah. Splenic defined root, only root and spleen defined. Oh, that's it. Only root and spleen. What channel do you have? Are you judgmental, stubborn, or ambitious? Oh, you're excited for the live. What's your channel coming from the root too? Got a couple of root people in here. You should Reiki me right now. 1858. That's the only channel you have? I feel like root to spleen people have such a unique uh, energy. That's it. Love it. Kendall, you're 2-5. Do I have your chart? I don't even know if I did. Probably did your chart. Yeah, the 2-5. That's the harmonic profiles are so interesting too. Rarer. Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have yours. Nah, you're splenic like me. Awesome. What? You're a 2-5? I had other things in mind for your profile. That makes sense. Kind of. Lately I've been trying to guess people's designs. I don't ask it's very rare that I'll like ask someone I first meet for their design because it's way more fun to just like sit with them and interact with a person and like feel the energy without my mind having a blueprint to compare it to because it just can take me kind of out of the moment. So now I like to wait as long as I possibly can before I see someone's chart. But recently I've been very good at picking up on like channels or like aspects of people's designs, which is kind of fun. Is this only for projectors? I don't know. Do we only have projectors in here? No, I'm just messing around. It's not only for projectors. What are you? You feel like you're an energy type crash? I mean, I have a lot of projectors typically in these. But I've led a few manifestor groups also, and it's fun being the only one of your type in a room of yeah, something else is going on. 3-5. Wow, we got all kinds of profiles in here today. That's cool. MG. No, you are more than welcome, MG, to give us some of your energy this morning. Even though I'm like 3/4 of the way done with my coffee and feeling it already. Jessica, hello. When I was in Norway, Jessica took me out to an amazing lunch that I'll never forget. Hey, how's it going? How's the weather over there? What have you been up to? Snowing. Awesome. 24 MG just passing through. You're more than welcome to pass through, Kelsey. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I had 2 4s on my mind yesterday. I don't know how many 2 4s I've asked to be on my podcast or like do a live with me or something, and then been shut down. When am I traveling again? I think my plan is to be in LA at least till September, and then maybe back to Portugal. It's kind of my plan, but I know how plans go. That could change. All right, I guess I could just start talking about something. I'd love to go back to Hawaii, Kendall. Are you in Kauai? I haven't been in a while. Um, I get a question a lot from people that's like, how do I know what I'm supposed to be doing? Or like, there's, there's so much going on in my life. Like, how do I know what to focus on? Like, should I do, just all these mental questions of like, whoa, what do I do? How do I be successful as a projector? How do I be satisfied as a generator? Like, how am I supposed to know what to do? Um, it's such a funny question to ask because human design is kind of like it's so the opposite of that. Human design teaches us like no one can know what you're supposed to do. Um, you have to learn to trust yourself, which is just your strategy and your authority. It's such a simple system, but it's so hard not to look for the answer. So my answer is always like, what's your authority saying? Are you following your strategy? Like, and for me, it's really what's lighting me up, what's exciting me. What do I have energy for? I love doing lives. Like, I really love this. I could sit here and just talk for hours about whatever comes up. What's it doing for me long term? I don't really know. I'm not making money off of my lives. I'm not like there's not some huge strategic plan that I have in place that says I have to do lives every week. It's just like what my energy is wanting to do. Um, so that's kind of how I really have seen my life unfold for the last 4 years of like, I don't really like I could have a plan and some structure and that's okay. But what is my what's really lighting me up? And that's what I've been following. And that's when I really look back and see like, wow, my life has unfolded in such an amazing way. I didn't really know where it was going to take me, but I just was following that inner authority, and it's led me to an amazing place. So I know it's really hard to be in that spot of like, what am I supposed to do? Where do I put my energy? What do I need to focus on? And human design just always brings you back to the body. What are, to your emotions, if you have emotional authority, or to your sacral, or to your spleen, whatever it is. But there's no rationalization. There's nothing that says this is what I'm going to get out of it. Or you can have those ideas, but I promise you, if you just follow that inner authority, it's going to lead you to um, towards your theme, satisfaction, success, peace, surprise. It will lead you there. And then when you look back, it starts to make sense. But in the moment, it's just like, oh, I don't know what this is going to get me. I don't know where this is going to take me, but I'm just trusting that inner instinct and my intuition. So it's a question I get a lot, and it makes sense because we're taught to mentally figure our lives out. But that's not fulfilling. Thanks for stopping by, Jess. We should connect again soon. Cool. Snail. So, anyone have any? I typically do question and answers. When you look at my chart, my variables are like split. My personality is left, like strategic. My body is right, more passive and peripheral. So typically, if someone has a question or wants some guidance, it kind of kicks off the journey or the ride of where we're gonna end up, because I never know when I hop on these things. And I'm really terrible at like structuring my awareness and knowing by myself and then getting it out in a coherent way. I can just kind of ramble and blab. So Sasha, I haven't listened to your messages yet, but I'm curious. You guys like my new backdrop? I thought the gold mirror was a little feminine, so I've turned towards the window and the plants. I like it. All right, we got a question. Okay, Lav. Why why are we living? There's an and, but I don't hmm. Let's get rid of the and then just focus on that part of the question. I might need help with this one. I don't know. I do not have the answer to why are we living. I ask that a lot too. Anybody anybody know why we're living on this live? That would be cool if we answer that. It is an interesting question though. I and I've like grappled with these questions. I think we all kind of do. You can only discuss spiritual topics and teachings so much until you always get back to that question of like, well, what's the point of any of it? And I really think that there's questions that we're not ever going to answer or supposed to answer. And it's kind of like obsessing over that question or those questions. You're playing the wrong game. in a way. Like I really look at life as a game, or like we're in this program, and we don't have those deeper answers. But if that's not going to be answered, then what can we do? Be ourselves, enjoy as much as we can, feel emotions. Like there's so much to be experienced here in this life, that regardless of whether I know what the point is, Eric, it's pretty fucking cool. Good morning, Eric. How's the Netherlands? Okay, we have another maybe more doable question. I like that though. Who asked that? Why are we alive? It says why are we alive, and if there was a second part to that question, I'm actually interested to know what it was. All right. Heart vibe coaching. I have a totally open head and root, and I'm an MG. Will you give your thoughts about that? Sure. We have two pressure centers in the body graph, the head and the root. The head is a mental pressure to ask questions, to be inspired, to find answers. The root is a pressure to move our bodies, to survive, to be ambitious, to fight for things. So the joke is, when you look at the body graph, humans are designed to be in a fucking pressure sandwich. That's just how we live, pressure from above, pressure from below. And then we're like dealing with it. So I really see life as a game of pressure management, and knowing that you're not going to get rid of it. It's there. We wouldn't get out of bed in the morning if there was no physical pressure. What would be the point if we weren't inspired by anything mentally? So we kind of live in this pressure, and we think it's a bad thing. That's when we get anxiety. That's when we're super stressed out. That's when we can really spiral in those centers. So if you have an open head and open root, like I do as well, and you said yours are completely open, we have to learn about pressure. We're here to learn about it. We're here to not get caught up in it. It's really easy for me to get caught up in like, oh, my life is stressful, because that root, the open root, it's always wanting to get rid of physical pressure. We're not meant to consistently process that type of energy. So we really feel it, and it can feel really uncomfortable. I was talking to someone the other day, like when I meet a girl or I'm going on a date and they have the defined root, I can actually feel fidgety in my body. I can feel like, oh, this is slightly uncomfortable. So as an MG, I don't know the rest of your design, but if you're designed to be busy or you're designed to be doing a lot of things, you're here to use your energy in a way that brings you this satisfaction, but you're not here to be caught up in the stress of pressure, and you're not here to be caught up in thinking that you need to turn all of your inspiration, all of your questions into actions and solving your life that way. So, you have MGs and generators. I always say, like, it's such a blessing and a curse, because you have the energy to go out and do a lot of shit that you don't really like to do, but you can keep on doing it because you've got energy in the tank. So for you, it's like, wow, how can you slow down? Can you get to that strategy of waiting to respond? And then once you respond, be able to unleash all that awesome generator energy that you've got. But the open head, open root, oof, I can get caught up in pressure. I can get caught up in all kinds of stuff in those two centers. Not many people talk about the head and the root, and I think they're two of the most important centers in the body graph, because they kind of kick everything off. It's kind of why we do anything at all. All right. Let me know if you vibed with that heart vibe coaching. Thank you for the question. Okay, let's see. Got another question. Camilla. Hello, Camilla. I feel like being a third line is way too hard as a projector. Cute smiley face. Any thoughts on that? What's hard about it? Tell me what's hard about it and what makes it difficult when you equate it with being a projector. All right, we'll see if we get an answer to that. Let's move on to the next question. Hi, Travis. Hello. Just wondering if there's any chance two projectors to be together. We're an 8-in-1. Sacral center stays open. Any thoughts or advice? Thank you. Of course, two projectors could be together. Anybody can be together. This is a matter of your inner authority and your strategy. And projectors don't need invitations from other projectors. We have the same aura. We have a very similar experience of life with that aura. So, you put two projectors together, what are they, someone's going to have to say something. Someone's going to have to do something. And that's okay. I always look at relationships as like what's similar and what's different. And similarities in relationship brings comfort and understanding, and it can be easy. And then differences, this is where polarity can be very attractive and very sexy and very hot, but differences require more awareness. So when I look at two charts, you're kind of looking at like, okay, where do people speak the same language and where are they not speaking the same language? And then, cultivating awareness around our differences so that it stays attractive and you can accept the other person when it starts to get annoying because you're not that way. And then finding comfort in the places that are similar. So two projectors, yeah, you have the same type of aura. You can get very deep. You can really help each other see each other. It can be like a very cosmic connection. You can go very, very deep with each other. The sacral center stays open. All right. So you're here to together. What do you like doing together? You could be chill together. But that theme is going to be also, if you're in the not self of that relationship, it's going to be not knowing when enough is enough in the relationship. So can you be chill together, or are you not knowing when enough is enough? So yeah, of course, I really see, just following your strategy and authority, people are going to come into your life, and the chart doesn't really matter. If you're a sacral, yes, as a generator, if your spleen's this is good, then you pull up the charts and say, oh no, but our chart says this, so we shouldn't be together anymore. That's such a mental place to go, but it's so easy to go there too. So yeah, I like it. How long have you guys been together? The open root is the hardest thing for me, going back to that first question. Yeah, the open root has taken me a long time to understand, because you just feel it so viscerally. I think that's the center where I feel the most in my body. Even my open solar plexus, the open emotional center, I definitely can feel, but it's easier for me to avoid. Whereas the root, I'm like, oh, I can't avoid this. I'm just like feeling it in my body. All right. Camilla answered my question. Let's see what she says. This is in regards to being a third line and being a projector. The trial and error, bonds made and broken, the constant new starts are exhausting. And also, how does this fit with the projector studies? Feels like the beauty of the third line should come with more energy. Oh, I love that. That's so good. Um, Great questions. I like your insight. I like the way you think. It is interesting, isn't it? All right, let's see. I feel like when you really honor that third line strategy of bonds made and broken, it's helping you with your energy. In regards to how does it fit with the projector studies, this has been a super interesting one for me in human design because I've gone through moments where I'm so into human design. I'm like studying, listening to lectures all day long, like really into it and excited and energized from it. And then I remember the first time where I was just done. I'm like, I don't want to study anymore. I'm over this. And I got scared because I'm like, wow, look at all the stuff I'm doing. And now all of a sudden I hate human design. I'm like, I'm feeling like I'm over it. So there was this fear within me, like I can't just drop this thing that I've been doing, but hey, I'm over it. So I left. I stopped studying. I just lived my life for a few days. And then after a few days, I was like back down the rabbit hole with like more energy than ever. So this was the first time I was like, okay, yeah, bonds made and broken really comes with most stuff in my life, and I needed a quick break, or who knows why, and then my energy was back to study more and fall deeper in love with human design. So I think the thing to also realize about the third line is I think we tend to focus on the bonds broken part because that's kind of like the pessimistic part of it. But as a third line, we're so good at making bonds. Like that's our wheelhouse. Like put me on a blind date, and it's so much fun because the third line is so good at bumping into stuff and making a really solid bond like right off the bat. So we're good on both ends. And then when we break it, it's really because we're testing that bond. And then we can make it again. So we're always going through this kind of cycle. So I think if you really honor, the energy of that third line and what your body is saying when it's like, break or make, it kind of like flows with my energy as a projector of like, hey, I don't really have the energy for this. Time to break it. Oh, I got the energy again. Okay, time. Let's make it again. And the third line is also about discovery. So when we remake the bond, we're discovering something new. So we got to keep things fresh. But if we think that we're needing to be consistent all the time, and maybe this is what you're talking about, like if you're a third line projector and you have this open sacral and you're telling yourself, I got to be consistent, then that bond's made and broken. And being a projector is going to be a nightmare and you're going to feel super drained. So I'm speaking from personal experience still, even, running a business, being an entrepreneur, there are things that you sometimes need to do consistently. And that's okay. But if I'm living in that open sacral center and then I'm, being hard on myself because I'm not consistent and I have the third line and I'm the projector, like, oh, I'm in the not self. So I hope that answered your question or gave you a little bit of insight. But for me, it's all about embracing my inconsistent energy, my inconsistent sacral, and then starting to learn to recognize when my body is saying break or make a bond. because as a 1-3, it's our body that's saying it. It's our unconscious, and the one's looking for consistency. The one's looking for a solid foundation. It's going to be very, very confusing in the beginning as a 1-3 projector, and going through all those conditioned themes that we've been sold. Love it. Love that question. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I really like the way you see that. Thank you. I am Lisa says, can you speak more about the third line and the bonds being made and broken? I hope I did. Let me know if you want any more. The third line is such a fascinating one. It's the most like in the world, you know. The one is like in the basement studying. The two is like in their room doing their own thing. The three is really the one that's like out in the mud, like figuring it all out, bumping into shit. You know, the four is on the phone, they say, talking to people. So the third line is really the most material line. Rod did a course called like the money course of like, you know, where are you supposed to make, how are you supposed to make money in this life? And you can kind of look to all the third lines in your design to see like, okay, these are the places where I'm supposed to make money, are these third line themes. I always thought that was really interesting. This coffee's making me like jittery this morning. All right. Next question. I am a 2-4 projector. Any advice for me? I'm new to all this. Welcome to human design. Congratulations, you're a projector. I just did a post on the 2-4 yesterday. My advice for any new person is really getting to know your type. What does it mean to be a projector? When I found human design, it was such a relief because society sells us one way to be successful, one way to be fulfilled, one way to look good. You know, there's like, well, maybe there's a couple different ways, but it's all kind of like a very similar path. You know, this is what you need to do to make it in this world. 80%, well, a little bit less than 80% are energy types. You know, they're here to use their energy to gain satisfaction. They're here to impact people with their energy. So, you know, projectors, the first thing you need to really realize is that 80% of people on the planet aren't ever going to understand what it feels like to be you. They're not going to understand, you know, what you're here for or how you see the world. We see the world in such a different way as a projector. So first of all, no, you're going to be misunderstood. That's okay. It's just part of the game as a projector. But the way that we're successful is literally like the opposite. It's like backwards to everything society taught me growing up. So that was like really something to grapple with, is feeling so scared that if I don't compete with the energy types, if I don't play this energy game, you know, I'm going to fall behind. I'm not going to make any money. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to find anybody. Like all these fears were there for me of like, oh, I got to run. I got to keep up. I got to play this. I got to play this game. But I knew the whole time, this game sucks. This game doesn't work for me. Like something's wrong with this game. We're playing the wrong game here. So just get like really start digging into just that word projector and what does it feel? Like, what do you feel inside? Where do you where would you do things differently if you could? I started to trust myself and my inner guidance system and what felt good for me, even though it was so different than what society told me was gonna make me successful. And it was easy for me because I hit a rock bottom at like age 30. And so I like tried the energy game for 20 years, around there. And so I always tell people, like, I had a 20-year experiment of trying to be a generator and trying to be a manifester, and it didn't work for me. So done with that. Let me try a new experiment. Let me try the projector experiment. And I'm like 4 years in, and it is going so much better. Trusting myself and accepting myself as a projector. So yeah, that's where I would really focus on this this word, this type, because as a non-energy type, we're just so different. And there's a way to survive and to thrive and to be successful that isn't going to look normal. And people are going to tell you it's not going to work. And it's just not going to make sense to a lot of people. So that's where I would focus for now. Thank you so much for your question. All right. A new subscriber. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. I haven't really I'm really putting together like what I want this community to be like, but like what my values are. I learned so much traveling for the last 3 months of like what I really value as a person, and what I'm a kitchens environment. So like, what would I want my kitchen to look like? What would I want my community to look like? What are the values? So that's really what I'm kind of turning into my, or bringing to this new subscriber community. But I haven't really I haven't given much value there yet. So anyone who's already subscribed, it means the world to me to have your support. Without me offering much. And so there's going to be a lot more coming. I'm really excited about that. So thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do that. It's $5 a month. And I have so much planned for this year, so much new stuff. And I'm really trying to up my gaming in quality and content. So, all right, enough of that. Can you explain the difference between right angle profile and left angle profile? I love this question too. Yeah. Okay. So when you look at profile, you can be a right angle. You call it personal destiny, or you could be a left angle, and you call it like a transpersonal, more karmic type of profile. Back to what I was talking about in relationships, it's really interesting when you have a relationship where someone has a very personal profile and the other has a very transpersonal profile, because again, here's just a difference that we see. Really good example is me and my parents. I'm a 1-3. The 1-3 profile is the most personal you can get. Okay, we're the most self-absorbed, not in like a negative way, but my process of life is like research and development. A lot of times I'm like in my own process. Sometimes it's hard for me to even realize other people exist. And that can be seen as selfish. It can be really misunderstood by a left angle transpersonal person, because the transpersonal profile is really here to take that research and development and then like spread it to people. This is where we have the networker and the heretic and the role model. So the transpersonal is much more looking out to how can we kind of share this information? How can we bring this to our network or strangers of consequence, or whatever. So there's a different, like very different experience of life. And I think a lot of times there can be miscommunication, there can be misunderstanding, just because your life process is so different. So if you look at your profile, to me, that really helps in relationship. It helps in, who's around me, understanding like, hey, I'm a 1-3. I may seem selfish sometimes to you, but it's not like I'm not thinking about you or I don't love you. It's like I'm in my thing right now. I'm studying, or I'm going through an experience, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not always focused outward. Where the transpersonal, they're really good at kind of focusing on the people around them, and seeing things in a different way. So it's kind of like two different views. And then you have the 4-1, which is like right smack dab in the middle. And the 4-1 is the weird juxtaposition between the two. They're not personal destiny, and they're not really transpersonal. They're kind of the bridge person that sits in the middle. So 4-1s are fascinating. My ex was a 4-1, and it was cool to watch her process and experience that profile too. So yeah, let me know if you have more questions about that. But great question. It's not one that gets asked a lot, but I think there is so much depth and understanding and acceptance, knowing, hey, am I a right angle or a left angle? It's raining again. Oh, my mom joined. Suzers, what's up? Had coffee with my mom this morning, and she said I never give her shout outs anymore when she joins my lives. So shout out to mom. She's the best. All right. Let's see what else we got. Nikki Bewitched. Hello. I don't know why I just said your name. Just came up. All right, Valentina. Valentina asks or says, I'm an emo manifester 1-3. Thank you for all the insight and the 1-3. Love listening to your experience and wisdom. Thank you so much, Valentina. Appreciate that. Happy to have a 1-3 emo manifester on right now. So thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Any books that you recommend? Yes, I recommend one book, The Definitive Book of Human Design by Linda Bennell and Ra Aruhu. This is like the human design. I was going to say Bible, but it's not. That's probably not the best terminology to use, but I highly recommend that one, the definitive book. It's the only one written by Linda and Ra. So I'm a 1-3. Human design, there's like so many different branches now, and people are doing a lot of different stuff with it. But as a 1-3, I just want to go to the source. Like, we have access to the source of where this information came from. So in my eyes, it's like, why would I go anywhere else other than the source? If you're going to take painting lessons, would you, from Van Gogh, would you rather take it with Van Gogh or like 4 people who have studied with him afterwards? That probably wasn't a great analogy, but anyways, that's the book I like. I love anything that Ra has done. I think his voice and explanation just carries a different frequency that's so transformative and just cuts to the essence and the truth of all this stuff. So that's the book that I recommend. Sebastian, what's up, my man? Thank you so much for subscribing too, my dude. Appreciate it. All right, let's see what he has to say. Sebastian says, can you explain about the not self and the mind, the personality? Are they overlapping or different? Can you also say something about bad habits? Are they in the body, personality, and or not self. Okay, let me wrap my head around this. Are they overlapping or different? Huh, that's an interesting one. Let me hit the first part. The not self and the personality, are they overlapping or different? The not self. So here's the core experiment of human design. Your mind is never supposed to make a decision for your own life. Your mind, your personality is here to be an outer authority. It's here to express itself uniquely and authentically, which, is what I'm doing here. It's what I do in my sessions. Like when we commune with each other and then we use our personality to express ourselves, that's when we really help other people. That's when magic happens. It's only the not self when we're making decisions with it. So I can express myself all day long. I can communicate. I can measure things. I can come up with answers. Like I can use my mind for so much great stuff. It's the not self when I make a decision with it, because where it makes decisions from is my open centers, and the open centers are who I'm not. So my open sacral as a projector, the theme when my mind is making decisions for me is not knowing when enough is enough. So here I am an open sacral. I'm here to have more rest than I am work in this life. My mind is going to tell me, and this is a personal experience, my mind is going to say, you need to do more. You're not going to make it. You need to keep up with the generators and the energy types. So let's just keep on going. My mind says to do that. That's the not self. And that's when I don't know when enough is enough. And that's when I burn my body out and my body starts to really suffer because of my mind's decisions trying to fix my open centers. So your personality isn't your not self. Your mind is when it's making decisions out of those open centers. But my personality is it's half of me. It's here to express itself as a unique outer authority for other people. But when it comes to making decisions of what am I doing next, that's what I was talking about earlier of like, I'm doing another live. Why? I don't know. Here it's my energy. I got energy for it. It's something that lights me up. It's something that I love to do. So, my mind might tell me, you should be doing something else today because this isn't making you money, or this isn't, setting you up for a goal we're planning on reaching. But I don't know. And I've really learned that when I listen to my body and I do the things that are lighting me up, it actually does lead me to more money and to more success and more recognition. So it can get a little bit confusing of, hey, well, is my mind my not self? Is my personality my not self? No, it's you're here to be that. You're here to express that. You're just not here to make decisions with it. Bad habits. That's an interesting question too. I don't really know about that one, Sebastian. I like to think more about that one. But I can definitely get bad habits of living in my not self centers. Open solar plexus, open emotional. The theme there is avoiding truth and confrontation. Talk about a bad habit. I don't know if that's exactly what you mean, or I don't even know if I would say that's a bad habit. But most of my life, especially in relationships, I would never say the truth because I was afraid to hurt someone's feelings, or I was afraid of emotional blowback coming. So I would just shut down and not say anything, which would drive my partners fucking insane. So that, I guess that would be a habit, but more of an unconscious kind of thing. Yeah. Hope that helped. Let me know if you want to clarify the second part, or I'll just think about that one a little bit more too. All right. Kendall, what's up? What does 2-5 reluctant hero mean? So when we look at profile, we look at these two numbers, and the numbers have a theme, they have bonding strategies, they have role and interaction with people. So the 2-5 is really interesting because they both live in this what we call projection field. The 2 is what we call the hermit. So 2s like to be left alone to do their own thing. They're very naturally gifted, but a lot of times they're not a lot of times they're very selective of who they're going to bond with. It takes a very special person, or it takes the right knock on your door to get you to kind of come out of this hermit mode. And the bonding strategy of the 2 is this shyness to boldness. So the 2 can have these kind of it can have a reluctancy to come out and share its gifts, because it does feel very comfortable to be alone and kind of cultivate and explore. So the 2, it lives in a projection field because the 2 is saying, hey, I'm a hermit, but it's also putting out a frequency that says, hey, come knock on my door, come pull me out, come see all the amazing things that I do. So the 2, it's like it is the hermit, but there is this built-in beacon that's telling people to come, and it's attracting people to come knock on that door to pull you out. But again, it has to be the right knock. It's got to be the right call to get you to come out. Now, the 5 also lives in a projection field. So the 2-5, it's like it's the profile that lives in this double projection field. So it attracts people. The 5 is the heretic, and the 5 is attracting people to say, hey, come, I can solve a problem that you have. I can bring a practical solution to an issue that you have. So the 5 is also putting out this thing, and the 5 is the seducer or the seduced. So the 5 has a very seductive quality to it, and it's there to, again, attract opportunities to come into your life from kind of these strangers. The 4 has a network. The 4 has trusted people. It has to get to know people. It has to have some kind of a resonance with them, where the 5 is more like, hey, I don't need to know you. I'm more of this stranger of consequence that's going to come save the day when they're going through something. So you can see how the heretic and the hermit, you can see why those words would kind of fit. Of I don't really know if I want to come out and do this right now. So the key for you, especially as a projector, is it the right call? Is it the right person? Is it the right opportunity? And really listening to that inner authority when the calls come. It's really our profile is showing us how we're going to meet opportunities in this life. So when those calls come, is it the right one? Am I a yes to this, or am I a no? Because the 5, the projections typically start positive. You're going to be the person to solve this issue. Oh, wow, she's going to be the hero. She's going to be the savior. So if you put on a song and dance and try to fulfill people's expectations, and it's not a real yes for you, and then you don't, you're going to be thrown under the bus, or they're going to say, well, she was supposed to do it like this, but she didn't. So 5s can be kind of blamed for things that don't go correctly if you're answering these calls and these expectations and these these opportunities that aren't aligned for you. So again, as a projector, do they recognize me? Do they see me for who I really am? Or am I living a generator life and they think like, wow, Kendall is going to be the hardest worker of all time. Like she's really going to put in, all the hours and get this done. Okay, well, then they don't really see you. They don't really recognize you. Let me know if you resonate with that. Hope that helped. It's an interesting profile. Most profiles have a dissonance in them, like the 1-3. or the 4 6. Oh wait, yeah, okay. The profiles that are the most rare are the harmonics. So the 1 4 and the 4 1, the 2 5 and the 5 2, the 3 6 and the 6 3. Those are all harmonic profiles where the numbers kind of go together. Um, where like I talked about yesterday, the 2 4, the hermit networker, those are like so different. Hey Daniela, welcome. How are you doing this morning? Another subscriber. Thank you so much. I like to see it. Got a lot of subscribers on the call this morning. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that now. Really appreciate your support, and thank you everyone who's already subscribed. Say that again. Right. I am Lisa. Says I am a cave environment. Can you talk about that? Based on my profile, I'm supposed to be a monk meditating in a cave. Unfortunately, I have to live in Babylon. I'm not an expert on environment. I I'm a 1 3. My one is very insecure when it doesn't have a solid foundation of knowledge to be able to stand on when I talk about things. So I will not feel confident speaking about people's environments. If you want to get more information on your environment and your variables, I've worked with Vanessa Henry. She's down that rabbit hole and she's amazing at explaining all that stuff. But if we just want to talk about it from a cave standpoint, we all know what a cave is. And supposed to be a monk meditating in a cave. Ra always talks about like how much is that monk meditating in a cave missing in this life? Like there's so much to enjoy here. Human design is a dualistic system. It's the spiritual and the mundane, the mystical and the mundane. And through this system, I really see we're here to enjoy both. And we can get out of balance living in one or living in another. It's easy to live up here all the time and just meditate all day long every day and not actually have to deal with the mundane realities of life. But then you miss the beauty of that. Or you're so stuck in your job and your money stuff, and you're never experiencing the higher stuff, the higher frequencies, and then you are missing out on that. So I really see this life as, how do we enjoy both? How can I be ultra spiritual and then go to In-N-Out Burger for lunch and hit a fast food drive through and fucking like enjoy it? It's because it's there. So I've always felt that split in me, and I really celebrate that, and I really love playing around with that and like fucking around with it, because it is so funny when you look at, especially in these spiritual communities, and you look at some of these people are, to me, are so far gone in the spiritual realms, and they're like living up in this like so-called like enlightened state. And I look at them and I'm just like, where are you? Like you're missing out on a lot. I don't want to sit in a drum circle with you for 6 hours while we, I won't make fun of those people, but yeah, fuck it, I will. Uh, some people I see are lost. And I really think like to fully embody what it is to be a human being in this existence, we gotta be able to travel between those two worlds and enjoy both of those worlds and really find the beauty in both of those worlds, because there is so much beauty in both, in the mundane shit of our everyday lives and in these awesome spiritual practices that we have access to now. So I love both. I can get stuck in one or the other easily too. I don't know how the hell I went down that road. But thanks for the question, Lisa. All right, almost done. I'm feeling my energy waning. Oh, Nikki Bewitch says, I'm a 4-1. Maybe that's why I said your name. My sister likes the background. She came up with this too. Hi, Mom. Did I say Benell? Might be Linda Benell. I don't know how to spell her name. Jake, another subscriber. Hey, Jake. Thanks so much for all your support over the years. Jake's one of my favorite people of all time. All right, let's see the next question we got. And I think that will do it for me after this one. All right, Daniela says, can you talk about type and strategy applying to type? And how does authority influence how you make decisions? Yeah, that's a great question that no one really asks. When you first come to human design, oh, my throat's getting kind of dry. Let me see if I can get through this one. My open throat might have just called it. But when you first come to human design, what you're going to hear is your type, your strategy, and your authority. That's what you need to start this experiment. And human design is an experiment. It's not a belief system. It's not a religion. It's not something to be argued about. There's no right or wrong in human design. It gives you these very basic tools, and it's up to you to decide, hey, am I going to try this out or not? That's it. So many people argue about this stuff and they haven't even tried it out for themselves. So my comment is always like, if you haven't experienced it or tried it for yourself, then shut the fuck up, because I don't want to hear a hypothetical scenario that your mind has come up with, what is right and what is wrong. It's such a waste of time. Try it and see what happens. So when you first come to human design, you're going to get your type. And to me, that's everything. Like, your type is so, so important. Generator with emotional authority is going to be so different than a projector with emotional authority, so different than a manifestor with emotional authority. So we can look at these things in the body graph, but if you don't then apply it back to your type, you're missing so much. Oh, I'm a 1-3. Oh, I'm a 1-3 too. Okay, well, you have a manifestor and you have a projector, and you guys aren't even talking about the difference of the type. So people get so lost in the weeds. They get so down the rabbit hole, which I've done too. It's just natural for us. It is mainly an open head thing. So always go back to your type. Always go back to your aura. The type gives you this quality of your aura, and each type has a very, very different aura, which gives you a different experience of life, especially when we're in relationships. I'm going to just turn my Wi-Fi off. Paused due to poor throat, poor connection to throat. So yeah, type. Always go back to your type. You can study your type for the rest of your life and you won't get to the bottom of your type. But that's what gives you that strategy. And the strategy is just, how do I align to being a projector? And, your type is really about your aura. So really it's how do I align to having a focused and penetrating aura that works one-on-one, that works with one person, one thing at a time. There's a strategy of how to align to that aura that's going to bring recognition, that's going to bring success to us. So your strategy is really how do you align to the aura that your type is giving you. And then your authority, your inner authority is, well, okay, I'm going to align. I'm going to try to live like a projector. I'll align to my strategy of waiting for the invitation. I'm not going to initiate things anymore. Well, you still can, but you can, again, this is an experiment. Do it or don't, test it out. And then when an opportunity does come my way, or I have to make a decision, your inner authority is the part of your body that is consistently designed to make a decision for you. So I'm splenic. I make spontaneous, in the moment, intuitive, instinctual decisions. That's my spleen is what's here to guide me and make decisions about my own life. That's the part of my body. If you're someone who has their solar plexus colored in, well, hey, you're going to have a whole different process of making decisions because you have emotional authority. If you're a generator that doesn't have the solar plexus colored in, now you have a sacral authority. So this is just the place in your body that's meant to make decisions for you. But your strategy, your overall strategy, aligning to that is going to manifest and attract a lot more invitations, a lot more opportunities, aligned opportunities for you in your life. So that's what strategy and authority means. And that's why it's such a vital part of this whole thing, because these are the concrete tools that you can actually try out for yourself. You can actually test this stuff out and then figure out for yourself, does it work or not? Do I notice a difference in my life? This is never a supposed to kind of system. This is here to empower you and to allow you to be the most authentic version of yourself. Allow the things that are correct for you to come to you. It really is about manifestation. A lot of people talk about manifestation. We all manifest differently. And aligning to your type and using your inner authority is the best way for you to manifest the life that's correct for you. That's going to bring you our signature, which is projectors. We're here to be successful. We're here to be recognized. That's like our cookie for this life. A generator who's satisfied, that's everything for them. Satisfaction is like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Manifester is peace. They're always after peace. Not like they're peaceful, but they want to be left alone. Well, and not even left alone, but they just want to manifest the things that they want in this life without people getting in their way, without people bringing resistance into their life, because they're so impactful. So they just want to have a clear path to be able to do what they want to do. So they're after this kind of this peace, this less resistance. And then for reflectors is surprise. What's new, what's exciting, what am I curious about in this life? So those signatures are really what fulfills us. It's not the money, it's not all the stuff that we make up in our minds. It's like each type has this signature, and that's getting that signature, that's what feels good. That's what's fulfilling to us. That's what gives us purpose. Being recognized the first time as a projector, you're just like, oh my God, I want more of this. I want this all the time. Like, fuck, it feels so good. And hey, it's just aligning to your type, using your authority. That's gonna get you there. So thank you for that question. What a fucking awesome question that no one asks anymore. And in this new season of my podcast, I'm taking us back to the very beginning, and we're going to go super slow through all of these very basic human design concepts that really bring the transformation. So I'm really going to be assisting and supporting and empowering people, this is my goal, to actually experiment with this shit. And it really starts with type, strategy, and authority. So super excited to launch my new season and really slow down and get deep into these concepts that are everything in human design. Okay, I think that does it for me. My throat is sensitive this morning. Thank you all so much. Let me see what else we got here. 1, 3 weeks. What? Okay, I think we got a lot that I haven't answered, but I have to save those for next time. Thank you all. I love you so much. Thanks for being here and just allowing me to do this again. I don't know what it's going to do, but it feels so good for me just to express, and your questions and energy and yeah, just your presence really helps things come out of me that bring me joy and fulfillment. So thank you. If you want to continue to support me to do more of these and to do even more cool stuff this year, there is a link in my link tree that you can send me a tip. You can also become a subscriber. Again, $5 a month. And I have so much stuff planned for this year. So that really helps out. It means the world for me just to have you here and to receive continued mutual support so I can keep diving into my projector process and experimenting with this stuff every day. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you later.